Hi guys, so welcome back to our channel. Today I actually had a quick video that I wanted to do, and it's a topic that I've wanted to talk about for a while on our channel, and it's on marriage. And I mean, you guys know that Aaron and I do put out videos talking about that in a sense, but I feel like I wanted to dive into it a little bit more. One of the things that I've had the hunch to share is things that I've learned about marriage in general, and I wanted to share them with you and see if y'all kind of feel the same way. So I'm just gonna jump right in and just share 5 things that I've learned about marriage, because so many people are married today, then there are also lots of people who are divorced, and if y'all know about the statistics, you know that it's quite high, the divorce rates and whatnot. And so I don't know, I want my channel to be a little bit more than just showing vlogs and laughter and all that. There's lots of in-betweens, and there's lots of knowledge that I would like to share that I've learned from experience and just want to expand a little bit more. So I'm going to quit yapping, and I'm going to share, I think it's 5? I'm going to share 5 things that I've learned about marriage. So the first thing that I've learned about marriage is that it's not for the faint-hearted. Oh my gosh, marriage is tough work. It consists of 2 different people, 2 different kinds of understanding, 2 different kinds of communication, 2 different feelings, just 2 different individuals coming together and trying to make it happen. You have to compromise and work things out through the good times and the bad times, and it's not always going to be, it's not always going to be happy or pretty, and it's just one thing. I mean, I never thought it was going to be easy, but at the same time, I don't know if I was ever really prepared for the things. You kind of think, oh, I want to be a great wife. I want to be understanding. I want to be caring and all that. But, you know, when your toes get stepped on sometimes, because it will, you might just either lash out or get frustrated or something. You know, there are going to be times when you will be challenged, and sometimes it's going to be, you might need to close your mouth, but you may not, just because you're in the heat of the moment or you're frustrated or whatnot. Anywho, my whole point behind it is, it's just, even if you think it's going to be easy, it's not. The second thing that I've learned about marriage is that it requires, I want to say good, but I should upgrade it to excellent communication. It needs communication. It is so important, guys. If you're not on the same level as your spouse, and you guys you're not understanding the same thing, you're not on the same wavelength, and you don't like to talk things through, then you're going to be in for a problem. Houston, we got a problem. I always wanted to say that. Didn't even fit right here. But anyways, it's just difficult. If you're not going to talk about it, if you're going to want to shy away from problems or run away from problems, and you're not going to take the time to sit down and talk it through, you might want to start packing now before you do. It's not my place to tell you that, but I'm just keeping it real. Communication is like essential. The third thing that I want to share about marriage is that it requires a lot of patience. Now, please forgive me about this light switch, please. But back to that, it requires so much patience. Oh my gosh, like I said, you're just different people. You're coming together, and sometimes just, whether it's a lack of communication or just you don't fully agree on stuff, whatever it is, there's always going to be those times when you are tried, and you're going to have to learn to be patient. Because if you're not patient, I mean, with all the stuff that goes on in marriages, you almost feel like you want to just pack your bag and leave, and that's not the case. So you're going to have to be patient. You're going to have to learn to work things through. You're going to have to learn to communicate and talk it out, and just understand that you and your partner are not one. Like, you're one, but you're not the same. You still have individual brains, and you still may think opposite, and you still may not agree 100%, but you will have to come together, kind of like twins, conjoined twins. Is that a bad example? Just, you will have to come together to make it work, and come together to agree, even if you don't want to, because you have to have some mutual grounds. And as a married couple, that's the whole point. You have to get to you're going to communicate to get to a point where you understand each other, or you have a mutual understanding before you can proceed with the next step. Number four, the fourth thing that I've really learned about marriage is that you are gonna fight. I remember when I don't know. I'm not gonna front, because even when we were dating, there was always those little petty fights. But in your mind, you think when you get married, oh, you're not going to really fight too much, or it's going to be all cheery. We're going to communicate. We're going to talk things out. And it doesn't always go as planned. And for even some of the couples who like to pretend that they don't argue, I think that's a little strange, because I know, and we should all know, that it's okay and it's healthy to fight as long as it is done properly. And I'm not talking about physical fighting here. We're talking about just arguments where you are going to argue and you're going to disagree, and that's okay. It's all in the way that you handle it. That is the key. So the last thing, my fifth thing that I have learned from marriage, and this is based on my own personal experience, is that with God in the center of your marriage, all things are possible. Like, your chances of your marriage succeeding is that much stronger. Keep him the center, have him be the focal point, and the tools, his tools that he's given us, and just the message and the wisdom that he shares with us, they are not like, with them, it's so much easier. He teaches you to have respect towards each other. He teaches you to love and have patience and all those things, which are the things that you actually need. He teaches that we're not supposed to give up on one another, and that we're supposed to work things through, until death do us part. And I know it's not always easy to even understand that, or easy to even say. It's not even easy to say, to think that no matter what trials or tribulations you're facing, that you should be working it through, because some things are just hard. I can't even imagine, going through certain things. However, he teaches us that, and even with the small petty things, or some of the small things that have actually broken up marriages or broken up families, you kind of learn that, had this person maybe had that certain tools or a certain level of understanding, and maybe if they had just a little bit more wisdom in their marriage, they could have succeeded. And I'm not saying this goes for everyone. I'm just saying in general from what I know, and I'm also talking about it from my own personal self. I know for my marriage, he has done so much. He's the only reason why we are where we are. Getting married at such a young age, being 19 and Aaron 20, that alone did not set us up for the best future, or the most successful marriage, because we already had these strains put on us. And I'm not saying put on us, because we made choices. We made choices that they were not necessarily the best, but you know what? He has a plan for everyone, and perhaps this was the plan for us. Having experienced and gone through what we've gone through, and are still in the situation that we are today, and live to tell our story and to share it's like a tale. You share it, and just to kind of sharing our experience, and just seeing how far we've come, and how much we're continuing to grow in the Lord, and how much he is still here as much as he was back then. It just makes me think it's only him. There's no way possible, because we've had hard times. There are times when I wanted to wring someone's neck. There are times when I just felt like, okay, goodbye, but you can't do that. And like I said, it's because of him. When we got married, we didn't have a house. We had our education lined up, or the preparations for it, but we weren't there yet. So we had no education. We weren't financially stable. We weren't in the best situation, and we had a child on the way. So things were not easy, and the picture did not look very pretty. However, like I said, the thing for me, I want to say thank God for just making himself available to my parents, because they were strong in the Lord, and because of them, I was bred in the church and grown in the church. Maybe that's a better way to put it, raised in the church. And, because of that, I was able to kind of share my light with my husband, despite my failures, because clearly I made some mistakes along the way. However, God has I've never lost sight of him. He's always been there, always been present. And we made the decision that we made certain decisions that we wanted to proceed a certain way, and that we wanted to raise our child with God. And thank goodness for the support of my parents, the support of their church, and the support of, which eventually became our church. But just those kind of support, and even them for being there when both of our parents really both of our parents were there for us, but I'm just speaking like in terms of having faith and having direction and just wisdom to share. Mine for being available like that, and even kind of counseling us during our young years, because like I said, marriage is not easy. It's a lot of work, and it's only God's grace, His wisdom, and just Him alone that have gotten us to where we are. And that's why you still see us. We hop into church in our vehicle every Sunday, and we're off to church, because that's where we feel when we go there. That's just where we just feel so loved, so adored, and so what's the word? It just feels like home. We live in our home every day on a daily basis, but when we go to church, that's that one place that feels like home to me. And I am human. I do make mistakes. We all make mistakes, but to a certain degree, I just want to say that it's just, if you really just follow God's way, you just can't go wrong. It's better to have direction in this world than to have none at all, in my opinion. But that's a different story for another day. I just want to share with you those quick facts on just some of the things I learned about marriage since being married for going on 13 years. So we've just passed 12 this year, and we're in our 13th year of marriage. So praise be to God. I want to clarify that I do have a few other videos that I have within this series. I have another one coming up, and it's going to share I think it's either 5 or 6 marriage mistakes, or 5 or 6 things that you just don't want to do in your marriage. That, I have another video. I have another 2 videos coming up on this topic. And if you guys are interested in these kind of topics, comment down below. If you have any questions pertaining to that, I'd love to answer that. We have so much to share given just our history. We've been married young, we've had kids young, we've raised a family young, we've gone through school, and there's just so much along the way. And I don't want to just I want to share my story, but it's not just to share it, it's to share insight, and it's to also just, if it can help someone or give encouragement or show that there's a light at the end of the tunnel or strengthen one's faith, whatever it is, I just want to be able to do that. So thank you all for watching this video. Let me know if you like it. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, yep, share, definitely share it, because that's what we need to share these kind of videos, especially to help bring those numbers up in couples staying together, not breaking apart. So thanks for watching, y'all. Much love. Mwah.